Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba says that you must do away with so you have to remove your devilish defects and imbibe godly virtues. Claim self-sovereignty for 21 births from the Father. Now, Baba says that defects come from Ravan and virtues come from Baba. That's why they are called godly virtues. And so we have to remove the devilish defects and imbibe godly virtues. So first thing that we have to do is pull our buddhi yog from Ravan and connect it to Baba. Yes, so because you become like the one you have yoga with. So only when I pull my yog from Ravan and connect with Baba, then I'll be able to imbibe godly virtues. But the thing is, okay, we know Baba. Do we know Ravan? So Baba says, this is Ravan Rajya. So everything other than Baba is Ravan. So when my yoga is not with Baba, it is with Ravan. Yes, because this whole world is Ravan Rajya. And when we have yoga with the body, the people, the places, the things, everything here, the work, then our yoga is with Ravan. And at that time, devilish defects, they appear natural to us. It looks like, how could anyone not have devilish defects? Because devilish defects are normal, they are the order of the day in Ravan Rajya, in the devilish world. So the thing is, this constant yoga. So when you have yoga with the body, feeling pain and pleasure feels natural. Yes? When you have yoga with your own body, feeling pain and pleasure is very natural because that's how we are conditioned, that's our sanskar. So this is why Baba says in the Murli today that you have to practice a lot early in the morning in Amrit Vela to consider yourself to be a soul and build that state of yoga with Baba. Because if you don't do that foundation work in the morning, then all through the day you cannot be with people, places and things and be in yoga with Baba. Definitely your yoga would be pulled by the body, the people, places and things. So this is the crux of the Murli today. Now, what I want to think about today is, you see, Baba says there is devilish defects and there are divine virtues. Now, when I am in yoga with Baba, what are the capacities, what are the divine virtues that I understand and I think I'm capable of? So, what are divine virtues? What do you think Baba means by divine virtues? So, if you want to write down, give me some answers. So if you want to suggest what divine virtues are, so we would like to, today think about divine virtues or godly virtues. Now, especially godly virtues, not even divine virtues. We will talk about godly virtues. There is a difference between godly virtues and divine virtues also. Because when we say godly virtues, they are Sangam Yugi virtues. They are given by Baba to Baba's children. And divine virtues are what deities have. So deities have divine virtues in Satyug, but godly virtues are the virtues that Baba, teaches us and gives the power of, imbibing in Sangam Yuga. Now let's take the virtue of tolerance. Tolerance is a godly virtue. You don't need to tolerate in Satyug, will you? So tolerance is a godly virtue. It's not a divine virtue, because you don't need tolerance in Satyug. But let's say love. Love is a godly and a divine, both kind of a virtue. Yes. So there are some virtues which are there in Satyug also and in Sangam Yuga also, but especially I gave you the example of tolerance. So I have an answer, and somebody has written patience, sweetness, observing capacity, unconditional being love. So these are some of the qualities that someone has written. So today we will explore one godly virtue that Baba spoke about in Sunday's Murli. So in purity is a godly virtue, right? Thank you. So Baba spoke about in Sunday's Murli about honesty. Yes, so honesty is a divine virtue. Godly virtue, sorry. Okay, so honesty is what Baba teaches us. And Baba today in the Murli says that I am called the truth, and I tell you the truth. Yes. So in the Murli, Baba says, I give you the knowledge of the truth. Nobody gives you the knowledge of truth. And in today's Murli, Baba says that until and unless I come, you don't know the truth. And what is honesty? Honesty is living by the truth that Baba tells you. So that is honesty. Honesty is not, I did this, I did not do that. That is not honesty. Honesty is when Baba tells me the truth and I live by that truth in thought, word and action alike. That is called honesty. So let's take 3 definitions of honesty today. First definition is honesty is honesty towards the self and towards the task. Honesty is honesty towards the self and towards the task. Now, there is a reason why godly virtues are called godly virtues, because when there is no Baba, there is no question of virtues, right? So if I work with this definition that honesty means honesty towards the self and towards the task, then this means that first I need to know the self and know the task. Okay? I need to know the self and know the task. And when there is no Baba, I don't know the self. I don't know the purpose of my life, do I? So I have no knowledge about why I am here, and I have no knowledge about who am I. So then staying true to my original self and original task doesn't arise. So that question doesn't arise. So this is why, so I'm just giving an example of honesty because we have all read Sunday's Murli. It will be easy to understand that there is a reason why godly virtues are called godly virtues, because they come from God. The foundation, the understanding, the power, everything related to that virtue comes from Baba. So until and unless Baba tells me the truth, how can I be true to my true self and to my task? So this is why godly virtues are called godly virtues. And then Baba says that, so there is another definition of honesty which you can use, which is being a trustee of that which doesn't belong to you and increasing its value. So Baba also that day said that an honest soul will increase the jewels it has been given, the treasures it has been given. So, it will not waste, it will be a trustee of everything that it has been given. Now, the thing is, in the Ravan Rajya, I think that I have ownership over my body, mind, and wealth. I never thought that I have been given these in trust. So, when there is no understanding of what is mine and what is not actually mine, then how can there be honesty? And then there is honesty, which means that you are aligned in thought, word, and action. Yes, but even for that, you need that need that capacity to look whether you are aligned or not. Because you see that most people don't have the capacity to see that they are not speaking and doing the same thing which they are thinking. And if I will tell you a very interesting phenomena, that most people think good but speak and act bad. Yes, they think good, and if you ask them, they would say, I was thinking right inside. I don't know how I ended up doing this. So, most people don't have bad intentions, just bad actions, because the intention doesn't translate into action because the sanskars come in between. So, have you seen situations when you start and your aim is to go and say sorry, and then you go and end up having a big fight with that person? So you went to say sorry, but you ended up, telling another 100 words which you never wanted to speak. So Baba says that this is, this, but if you don't have, soul consciousness, you will always end up doing this. The whole world is doing this, thinking right and behaving badly. You want to do something good, but you end up creating a big mess. So this is happening because we are not soul conscious, we are not free from ego. And then when you come into action, the ego starts to play. And then your ego gets hurt, and then you react and this and that. So I gave you the example of honesty to make it clear that this whole virtue of honesty is not possible without knowledge from Baba and without the power that we develop by following Baba's Srimat. And you see that today Baba underlines this for us. So I will tell you the seed of today's class. So yesterday what happened is I conducted a course some time back, and there is this couple who attended the course, and that person came to me and he said that I very much liked the chapter on powers that you taught. So there was the power to tolerate, pack up, accommodate, discern, decide, cooperate, and I liked it very much. And I want to learn Raj Yoga. You said that Raj Yoga is what develops those powers. I don't want to listen to the Murli. I want to learn that Raj Yoga. Yes, so this is a very fancy idea we have that, if you just sit in silence and do something, your inner structure will shift. It's not going to happen like that. So Baba says that when I say godly virtues, godly powers, so they come when you know Baba's Srimad, when you know Baba, when you know the knowledge that Baba gives, and when you do what Baba says. And that's how these flowers of virtues come up. Yes, just like you see when there is a garden full of flowers, you see the garden, it's very beautiful, but the process of raising those flowers is nothing like the garden. It's very different from what you see. The product is very different from the process. So Baba says, you will become virtuous, you will become full of godly virtues and powers, but for that the method is knowledge and yoga. Knowledge and yoga. And this is why today Baba tells us that, I come, and the task that I do is I teach knowledge and yoga. Yes, so until and unless you know the truth, until and unless you have knowledge about who you really are, who you belong to, what is your aim, what is the structure of this whole universe, how does the drama cycle turn, what is your Adi Anadi Swarup, until and unless you understand all of that, and until and unless you sit in soul consciousness and practice remembrance of Baba in Amrit Vela, you cannot imbibe godly virtues. You can understand godly virtues, you will love the explanation, but you cannot imbibe godly virtues until you have yoga with God. If you have yoga with Ravan Rajya, if you have body conscious, if you are body conscious, you will anyways exhibit devilish defects. So this is something. And then Baba says that I come and I do this thing, I give knowledge, I teach yoga, and it is up to everyone to practice. So Baba gives the knowledge, Baba teaches the knowledge, Baba teaches yoga, but do we do that much of yoga? Do we remember Baba that much? I wouldn't ask you to raise your hand, but at least 50% don't even wake up in Amrit Vela. So, so when you don't even wake up in Amrit Vela, and even the foundation of yoga is not built, so you have not used the best time to detach from the body and identify with Baba and draw in powers and virtues. If you have not done that work, and then you have not paid full day attention to maintaining that stage, then how can you exhibit godly virtues in action? It is not possible. Yes, so we must understand this. And then Baba says that the moment you are in Ravan Rajya, devilish defects look very natural. So you see, this whole Ravan Rajya this whole Ravan Rajya is about us and them and less and more. This whole Ravan Rajya is about us and them and less than and greater than. So I like to put it this way. So it is us and them and less than and greater than. In the whole day, what do you keep doing? Your ego tells you sometimes you are greater than that one, and then sometimes less than this one. Yes, so there are the two sides of ego, inferiority complex and superiority complex. Yes, and do you know how we camouflage this inferiority complex and superiority complex? We say inferiority complex is humility. Yes, so when you're suffering from inferiority complex, you say that is humility. Yes, and when you are suffering from superiority complex, you say that is swabhiman, self-respect. Yes, so but you you have to think about this a little for it to settle inside you. So you see that when there is someone in front of you and you create this thought and feeling that I am not as good as them, and then you're trying to assert that I am still fine. So you're already caught in that trap that I am not good as them, and then you're trying to assert that it's okay. Then you say, I'm very humble. So even if they're bad, I am cooperating with them, I am nice to them because I have this humility, this goodness. But the thing is, if you are humble, that's a godly quality. And any humble person won't suffer inside. But there is a lot of suffering because when you see that person, you have started comparing yourself internally with them, and that internal voice tells you you're not good enough. Because it's a body conscious voice, it's telling you you're not good enough. And then you are doing everything on the outside to not express that. Yes, so you're doing everything on the outside to stop yourself from expressing that I feel that I'm not good enough. And then you think that you're being humble, but then you're suffering inside because that's what inferiority complex does to you. Yes, so, and then there is superiority complex. When you think, I am the greatest, there is no one like me. Yes, and then you're not willing to learn, you're not willing to grow, you're not willing to acknowledge your mistakes, and then you say, I have a self-esteem, they hurt my swabhiman, they spoke this, that, and the other, and then so you explain your hurt that your hurt is not because of ego, it's because of swabhiman, it's because of self-esteem. But that's not how it is. You so, and then this, in these this extremes of ego, the middle one, the zero, the truth is that you are unique. You are neither less than nor greater than anyone. And there is no scope for comparison. And there is, when somebody speaks something to you, then the only thing you have to look for is there anything that I want to take from their words? So, you don't have to take anybody's opinion about who you are. or how you are, but if they are telling you something which you can use to better yourself, you take that. Yes. So you should know yourself, and when somebody is pointing out something, you just try to ask yourself that, do I think that I need to imbibe this, and will that make me better? And if it does, you take it. Yes. And Baba says, don't mind the tone. Whether they speak sweetly or harshly or whatever, doesn't matter, because they don't know you. So they will have their opinion, and everybody is welcome to their opinion. But in all these voices, you can sometimes figure out something which will be useful for your development. And then you take that and do that. So Baba says that the truth is very different from how you operate in the Ravan Rajya. So when you are in the Ravan Rajya, then you keep shuffling, you keep shifting from one distorted form of virtues to another distorted form of virtues. So you keep shifting from let's take another example. So in Ravan Rajya, when you say love, it means attachment. Yes. And then when you say I fell out of love, it means you abandon that person. Yes. So so Baba says, when you say I have, and when you abandon that person, you don't say that you abandon that person, you say I got detached. Yes, so you have spoiled both the words. So your love is dangerous, your detachment is dangerous. So this is how we operate in Ravan Rajya. So attachment is called love, and abandonment is called detachment. But Baba says no, detachment is detachment, love is love, and I teach you both of them. So what is love? Love is when you are invested in the intention that somebody grows, somebody is uplifted. You are willing to give your time, thought, and attention to teach them knowledge and yoga so that they develop and grow. And when you always have good wishes and good feelings for the other, that is called love. And what is detachment? It is the same as love. So love and detachment go together. Yes. But what we have done in Ravan Rajya is we have messed up with all the ideas. And then Baba says, this is why when you are in Ravan Rajya, then you want to be virtuous, but you end up being vicious, because until you have Baba, you don't understand virtues. You don't understand virtues. And when you have yoga with Baba, Baba is the embodiment of virtues and the knowledge of virtues. So when you have yoga with Baba, your understanding of virtues gets better, and also you understand how those virtues play out in action. Because you see that if there is no embodiment of virtue and it is only theoretically taught, you don't get it. So you need somebody to embody them and exhibit them in action. And that is what Baba does. Baba has shown us the example of how love plus detachment looks like. Yes, does Baba ever stop caring? Ever? Never. Does he ever get attached? Never. Does he have any expectations? No, only hope that you do better. Yes, but no expectations. So, no, absolute detachment with absolute love. That is the divine, the godly love that Baba gives. And Baba says, when you have yoga with me, and I also want to talk about yoga a little today, because you see, you have yoga only with the one you feel. So there are two reasons for yoga. One is sambandh ka anubhav, another is prapti ka anubhav. So when you think that somebody is a source for you, you have yoga for them. And when you understand that you have a relationship with that one, you have yoga with them. You can never have yoga with someone you don't feel a relationship with, and someone you don't think you have any attainment from. Just think about this. Do you have yoga with anyone whom you don't have a relationship or no attainment from? No. That's why Baba says that I give you the knowledge that I'm the one you have all relationships with. And I give you the knowledge that you are a soul, and all your attainments, whatever you need, will be coming from me. So in bhakti, you were not told that the soul needs knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power, and the source is Baba. Or, when you want to go to a better world, I'm going to make it for you. So Baba says that I'm the one who comes and first tells you that you have all relationships and all attainments with me. And when you internalize this knowledge and sit and experiment with it. So before an experience, there is an experimentation. Have you experimented with the knowledge that Baba is my beloved? Baba is my mother, Baba is my doctor. Have you experimented? If you have experimented, you have experienced. Yes? Most people don't ever experiment. Even Baba's children, they never, so they leave one relationship out of the whole spectrum. They will say, okay, Baba is my father, teacher, Sadguru, good enough, but not my beloved. My beloved is this person. And then you keep getting hurt by that one. Nobody else is able to hurt you but that one. So Baba says, you have to have yoga with me, and your yoga will be broken. Wherever there is this gap in understanding that I give you all attainments and I give you the love, the the power, the sustenance of all relationships. Let's take one example. Say you think that all attainments come from Baba, but not money, maybe. Yes. And then any financial turbulence causes you great sorrow. Yes, because we have not understood that every attainment comes from Baba. So even when financially everything is turbulent, I can still stay happy because of this relationship with Baba, and we are soon going to a world where there will be no financial turbulence. But if you're not in yoga with Baba, if you've not experienced that every relationship, every attainment is from Baba, then this yoga will kept getting disturbed. And whenever this yoga is broken, then there is experience of sorrow, because at that point there is yoga with Ravan Rajya. And Ravan Rajya means Shok Vatika. Yes, the land of sorrow. So this is why Baba says that these are godly virtues. So until and unless you know the truth from Baba, experiment with the truth, experience the truth, until and unless you have yoga with Baba and you experience the sustenance of all relationship and the power of all attainments from Baba, you cannot imbibe godly virtues. You will want to, but you will soon shift to Ravan Rajya. Your connection will be with Ravan Rajya, and you will start, showing signs of devilish defects in your thought, word, and action. So, this is today's Murli, and there is a question: how are hope and expectation different? So, when you have hope, you are not disappointed. You are not frustrated. But when you have expectation and it is not fulfilled, then you get frustrated, disappointed. So hope is continuous. Have you seen that, when so people say this person is a great optimist, they never give up. So the sign of a hopeful person is they never give up. So, they keep that flame of hope always alive. And the sign of a person full of expectation is they give up too soon. So, whenever the expectation is not met, you give up. And at the drop of a hat, you give up. And this is why expectation is a vice and hope is a virtue. So Baba has a lot of hope on us, and Baba sometimes gives us the title, "Tum mere umeed ke sitare ho." "Tum mere umeed ke sitare ho." I have all my hopes on you. But Baba never gives up. Baba never says, "Oh my God, last 6 months back I told you you are my umeed ka sitara and you're not turning out to be one." So Baba never says that. So this is the kind of hope we have to have. Yes, and I remember when I came into Gyan, so I used to observe these senior Didis, so whenever somebody or Dadi, when somebody went and they said this person is not improving, not changing, this is not happening, then they would just say, "Ho jayega, ho jayega, ho jayega." So that is the ho jayega is the hope. So you always feel that, okay, it's not happening today, it'll happen tomorrow. And Baba lives by that hope. And Baba says you also should have hope. And hope also has an element of patience in it. So you have to have a lot of patience to be full of hope. And then today Baba says that you must give correction to people, but you must also give blessings. So Baba says give correction, but also give blessings. And Baba says that, when somebody makes a mistake and you keep the mistake in your heart, then you block your blessings. Yes. So when you give a correction for that mistake, first delete that mistake from your heart. Because how can you give a correction for something that you yourself are holding in your heart? So it's very important that you know better, you know how to do that thing better, so you teach them to do better, but then also give them the blessing, the power to do better. And I think this is such a great teaching that the the majority of problems in the world are because of this. So people who know better are just giving the other person the teaching that you don't do this, you do that, but alongside they are keeping their mistakes in the heart and they are not giving blessings. And this is why we are becoming, so this whole downfall is because of this. Because there is always someone who knows better than you, and you could always learn. But why is it that as a whole humanity, we are not learning from each other? We are only hurting each other. So those who know better hurt better. That's the law. But why we can grow together, because obviously everybody knows something which is different from the other. And if you could just, correct with love, correct with blessings, we could all grow together, because there is always something that you know better, and there is always something that the other person knows better. But again, that question of ego, if we correct it with love, how will our ego be fed? So we are all feeding off other people's mistakes. So stop feeding off other people's mistakes and know that everybody is different, and when you give correction, you give blessings also. And that will change the slope, of the trend. We are going down, but we can all grow together, and this is why this yuga is called Chadti Kala Ka Yug, because we have Baba's teachings with us now, and we don't make the mistakes which make us fall together. So this is Baba's blessing today. Okay, Om Shanti.